Wolfpack, are you ready? Are you guys ready to go? I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes to get this thing sorted out. We are ready to rock and roll in day one of the Wolfpack. It is about ready to start. So let's get this thing rocking and rolling. So if it's your first time here, and I bet it is because this is brand spanking new, congratulations and welcome to the Wolfpack. What is the Wolfpack? This is all about a 30-day personal program, a personal development program that we've put together that is going to help you step by step over 30 days create new levels of your life, right? Now, I know that sounds like massive amount of ego. Well, I'll tell you right now that we've done this many, many times with many, many people, and we've seen some amazing, amazing results. So before we start, I want to address a few things. The past does not equal the future. Okay, the moment is now. This is a fresh, new opportunity. If you've never done any personal development before, congratulations on taking a step and just being part of the group. I don't know when it is that you're watching this video, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching a replay. But what I do know is this: hang in there, get to the end of today, then make a decision on tomorrow. This is about taking small little steps, bit by bit, and those small steps done daily will improve just 1% each day, and over the course of 30 days, we will have a 360% improvement just because of the stacking effect alone. Okay, so let me just get down to it, right? Most people major in minor things. They focus on what is not working in their lives rather than what is actually going right for them. They focus on how to make a living just to pay the bills rather than actually designing a life of their dreams. Wouldn't you say? They focus on why this is happening to me rather than what they are actually grateful for. And whatever we focus on starts to manifest itself in our life. Have you ever seen the movie The Secret? It's about attracting certain things into your life. Well, while I believe that some of that is quite real, there's other parts to that I am a little bit skeptical about, because what you need to do is also action. Right? So let's start focusing on the major areas of your life: your mentality, your emotions, your physiology, your finances, and also your spirituality and your relationships. These are the key things. These are the major areas of your life. And over the next 30 days, we're going to focus on them individually and all across the board. Remember the guy, Michael Jordan? He was one of the best basket players in the world, but was he born with that type of talent? I mean, he really wasn't. What Michael did was he went out there and every day he got into the small things. He did the 1% plays. He did them over and over and over again. And over that period of time, he changed dramatically the way that even basketball was played. And every time he went out on the court, he just absolutely dominated. He didn't start off like that. He started off small. He did small actions daily. And that's what we're going to do here today. Not wasting time on non-important things. Statistics show that Australians actually spend over 1 month every year watching TV. That's crazy. And now with computers and social media, could you imagine how much time is actually wasted on stuff that doesn't matter? Stop wasting time. This is about stopping procrastination. You see, there's two different driving forces in your life. There's inspiration and then there's desperation. When I was a young man, I grew up in a housing commission state. I had a single mum who did her best to actually get us to where we need to go. And I remember back in the day, I was about 14 or 15 years old, and I was pushing trolleys around a place here on the Gold Coast called Ashmore City, right? And what happened for me, I was just extremely dissatisfied about how poor we really were. We had this position where mum did her very best to pay the bills. And even though we're in a housing commission and everything was very, very, we were, well, from an Australian point of view, we were poor. I've been to India since then, so I very hesitate using that word because I actually seen what real poverty is. But from a housing commission state here on the Gold Coast, we didn't have a lot of money. In fact, we didn't even have enough money sometimes to eat. So I remember being there and actually seeing the local pie shop, the local bakery, throwing out all of these pies. And I remember watching them and throwing them out. And I was thinking, what's wrong with the pies? And he goes, well, it's the end of the day. We've got to throw these things out. And I was like, well, can I have them? And he goes, yeah, sure. And he gave me the bag of pies. Now, that was okay. So I did that every 2 or 3 days. I used to take this bag of pies home so that we could eat. And I thought that was okay, except for one day this guy turned up and he said, Shane, I've got some bad news. I said, what is it? He said, listen, due to health regulations, I can't give you these pies, mate. I'm going to have to put them in the bin. Now I said, well, what happens once they're in the bin? He goes, well, you can have them at that point. And I remember reaching into the bin after this guy put these pies in the bin and grabbing this garbage bag full of pies and bringing this garbage bag home. And I remember just being completely dissatisfied with my life at that point. There was a real moment of, is this really what it's come down to? Is this who I've become? Now, eating is a part of survival, but I remember being completely dissatisfied, and I made a decision right there that I would never have to do that again, that I would never put my family through that. And I didn't know what I wanted in life, but I certainly knew what I didn't want. There were certain things that I just would not accept anymore, right? So we must study what we actually want in life. We must study health. We must study wealth. We must study happiness, relationships. And this is all about immersive learning. Okay, so forget hoping, right? Repetition is the mother of all skill. Have you ever heard that saying? I became successful because I took massive action consistently. I did it over and over and over again until the skill was developed. That's what we're going to do in this 30 days. We're going to start small, but over 30 days, because we're building that skill continuously, we will start to build muscle. And that's what it's all about, right? We all have a subconscious belief about what we actually deserve. It's almost like a thermostat in a controlled building, right? If the room is too cold, the heaters automatically turn on and they warm up the whole building, right? That's great. We're the same. When we feel things are moving too slow and we get active, we heat up our life, we start doing more and we gain excitement, we start achieving goals. Or conversely, when the room gets too hot, the air conditioner turns off and the room starts to cool back down. Just as in life, when most people start achieving their goals in life and start to live a great life, they're pushed or they're placed outside of their comfort zone, whether it be finances, relationship, or even lack of acknowledgement. And then all of a sudden they subconsciously start to sabotage their own success to come back to a place where they actually feel like they deserve to be. Let me share a story of me. This was not very long ago. I started to eat myself to death, right? There's no other way to, I stacked on a bunch of weight. In fact, I hit a whopping 146 kilograms and my business has started to falter. I had to fire a lot of my staff that I really, really liked. And I was just going broke. I had to sell my house. I went from like an Aussie wonder to just wonder what the hell's going on. And I started hiding from debt collectors. And then all of a sudden this friend came by and he said to me, Shane, he said, what the hell are you doing? And I started to question it myself. He said, mate, you're worth more than you actually even think you are. And at that time, that was a massive thing for me. It took a massive shift in the way I just started to change around. Because remember, the past does not equal the future, right? If you've failed in the past, if you feel jaded, frustrated, that you've tried everything, but it just hasn't worked for you, then get excited because all you've done, all you've worked for has set you up for the next 30 days for this full moon challenge. This program is going to teach you how your brain works. It's also going to teach you how to get real results and make it user-friendly, right? Learn how to operate and direct your own mind more powerfully. Would that be good? What changes your life is not learning more. What changes your life is making decisions and using your empowerment to start to take action. Real power is the ability to act. So challenge yourself to go to the next level, to start living your life with the juice of life. Demand more from yourself than anyone else can expect. That is what true power is. And start using technology to create change. The science of reprogramming your own mind and reconditioning yourself to be a better version of you. Version 2.0, a version designed specifically for you by you. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, now I want to talk to you a little bit about the Wolf Formula here. Because the Wolf Formula is the way this works. It's a 4-step program, WOLF. The W stands for why. You see, you need to know your own outcome. You need to know what you want mentally, physically, socially, emotionally, spiritually, financially, intellectually. You need to get super clear because clarity is absolute power. Let your brain know the direction that you really want to go. And then all of a sudden there's this driving force behind your behavior. The O stands for onward. Use your why, hit the accelerator. You've got to start going onwards. You've got to start going towards what you actually want. You exercise your power to act. You see, the road to someday moves you to the town of nowhere, right? We've heard that saying. So just take action. Stop saying someday. Decide not to settle with anything else than what you actually want. The word decision itself means in Latin to cut off from, to decide, to cut off, right? It's not what we can do in life that's important. It's what we will do that's actually important. So make sure you listen to your fears and make it a counselor and not a jailer, right? Breaking through fear is like a muscle. The only way to achieve your goal is to face your fears and start to follow through and taking massive, consistent action. Start small, every day, 30 days, and we're going to get there, okay? The L is for learn. Notice and pay attention to what you're getting from your actions. Start to develop a thing called sensory acuity, right? As you're getting closer to your goals, or you're actually getting further away, you need to notice that. Don't kid yourself. Don't get locked in tunnel vision and keep going because you're taking action, but you're not actually reaching your goals. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result, right? So F is for flexibility. See, flexibility is power. Most successful people, 70% of the time, fail. Massive failures have driven some of the people to massive success. I see what you're not doing is not bringing you closer to your goal, then change your approach, right? Try something else. Keep changing until you succeed. But that doesn't mean give up. Never, ever, ever give up. See, if a kid was trying to walk, if a little kid, a little toddler was trying to actually walk and kept falling over, you're not just going to walk up to the kid, pat it on the head and say, oh, well, you know, you sort of gave that walking gig a go, but let's face it, it's probably not for you, right? You would say, get up, try again, try something different, hold on to the edge of the couch, try a different approach, be flexible. This is how you do this. This is about modeling successful people. Find people that are doing what you want to do and start following the exact actions as what they did. And that's how you get result. See, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. I lost my weight modeling other people's success, right? Excuse me, I did not go out there try and reinvent the wheel. I went out there and found someone who'd done exactly what I wanted to do. They were around the same weight that I was when I started this, and they had dropped down dramatically over a short period of time. I picked up the phone, I made contact, I made the connection, I started asking questions, and I went through a whole series of things until I started to model exactly what they did. Guess what? I got the same result. The same way that I got to the top rank in the company that I'm with, I did not know how to get there at the start. I found somebody who had done that, who had walked that path, who had got to the top of the mountain. And I was just simply just there like a reporter, just writing stuff down and modeling their success until I got the exact same thing. Now, I've done this in every aspect of my life. I learned how to do businesses, do taxes, to lease cars, to buy houses. I now own a house on the beach, beautiful beachfront property. I didn't know how to do that. I modeled somebody who did. I even learned how to meet girls doing it as well. When I was a young man, I used to follow the guys that would get all the girls and follow what they were doing. Guess what? It's not rocket science. Model people's success. Remember, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Success is a really simple formula. Don't get caught up in the day-to-day stuff and making a living and then all of a sudden get stuck. Not that I don't think you'd actually do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be listening to this video, or you would have turned it off and thought this guy's a crazy guy, right? So I'm not thinking that, but I'm just telling you most people get caught up in the day-to-day livings and they never actually start to live. Let me tell you a quick story, right? There's a guy by the name of Jack Ma. He founded Alibaba. You may have heard of him. He went to KFC for a job. 24 people went for that same job. 23 of them were accepted. Jack was the only one that didn't even get a job, right? When Ma founded the company called Alibaba in 1998, he was met with so many challenges. In fact, his brand, that company, did not even turn a profit for the first 3 years. And Ma had to start getting creative. One of the company's main challenges was that it had no way to do payments, right? No banks would work with them. So what he did was he started his own payment program called Alipay. The program just transferred payments to different currencies between international buyers and sellers, right? So many important people he spoke to at that time said it was the stupidest idea that he'd ever had. He didn't care if it was stupid as long as people could use it, right? Today, 800 million people use Alipay. Now, Alibaba itself is worth over $200 billion, right? That is a true success story. You may have heard about a guy called Colonel Sanders. Well, Jack Ma certainly has. That was the company that he was trying to get into, right? But Colonel Sanders, at 65, started to do KFC as we know it. After he received his first Social Security check, it was $105. He started going door to door, knocking on doors at restaurants, trying to sell his chicken. He spent 2 years sleeping in the backseat of his car in that stupid-looking white suit with a little black pencil tie. He was turned down 1,009 times before he actually heard his first yes. Talk about overcoming failure, right? 1,009 times before he actually heard somebody say yes. What if he gave up after just 1,008 times? Do you know anyone would have given up maybe a little sooner than that? Maybe intimately? I guess we'll never know, right? So what about J.K. Rowling? She's amazing as well. She was actually rejected by 12 publishers. The only reason she even got her book published is because the CEO's daughter started to beg him to actually do it. Now her Harry Potter series, it's gone over to sell, 100 million copies, and her net worth today is close to, if not over, $1 billion. So start to learn to turn your frustration, confusion into excitement. It signals a lot about what you're actually going to do, and confusion and excitement and frustration is a good thing. It starts to tell you there's a breakthrough. You're about to take some change, right? Rejection and pain can also drive us to success. As long as you learn something, you can't fail. Does that make sense? So business success is the same thing. It comes from being physically, mentally, and creatively successful. Become a better leader by changing yourself and challenging yourself and using models from other great leaders. Rise with us. On this full moon challenge, commit to using the Wolf formula, not intelligence and not even necessarily skill, right? Consistent daily actions develop habits. And those developed habits start to create this effortless journey that starts you in the direction of where you actually want to be. You need to feed your brain, emotions, and mind consistently for at least 30 days. I want you to challenge yourself. Remember, success in life is the result of good judgment, right? But good judgment is the result of experience. And experience is actually the result of bad judgment. So there you go. So remember that, right? So, and another thing I want you to do during this 30 days, we're going to keep it really short and sweet tonight, but we are going to build on this. So tonight, even though you might think to yourself, listen, I'm expecting this massive thing, this is all about small steps. I want you to keep a success journal, right? Write down and capture everything that you can, every little key moment that you can. See, memory retention increases by about 75 to 80% if you write it down. Otherwise, 3 days' time, you'll forget about 80% of what you just heard tonight, right? So write this stuff down, keep a journal, and start tracking your progress. Okay, today we've got a real simple task, right? This is what we want you to do. This is how we start the ball rolling, right? I want you to choose 2 actions that you have been putting off, procrastinating on, that will immediately increase the quality of your life and reduce your stress. Did you hear that? 2 simple actions that you have been putting off consistently for so long, and I want you to do it right now, right? Stress is just an achiever's way of saying, I'm lazy. Have you ever heard that? Believe it. Stress is just a simple way that achievers use to actually say, I'm too lazy to get something done. So I want you to pick 2 actions, 2 simple little actions, and I just want you to stop procrastinating right now. All right? I want you to get these 2 actions done. So if you commit to the full moon challenge, it is really, really simple. Get 2 things that you've been procrastinating on, get them done right this minute. The time is early, so you've got 1 hour to get these 2 things done. I want you to get yourself a journal. I want you to write notes. I want you to take notes about everything that we're going to speak about over 30 days. I want you to get excited. I want you to live with passion. Over the next 30 days, it's going to be amazing. We are literally going to start to rewire our brains for success. We're going to start to build neuron pathways that actually start to take us from where we are into the direction that we actually want to be. This is going to be a really amazing period of your life. You're going to look back at this fondly. You're going to have some fun along the way. You're going to meet some amazing people. Guys, welcome to the Wolfpack. We are ready to rock and roll. That was night one. Trust me, it starts to get a little bit more advanced from here. Tomorrow, we start looking at those brain pathways and we start to rewire some. So tomorrow is going to be amazing. Make sure you're here, make sure you're live, and make sure that you get some other people into the pack. We're going to go through a lot of stuff, but let's start with the basics. See, the very, very important that tomorrow night that we start to take the steps to rewire our heads for success. Because if it starts up here, the rest of the body flows. Everything has to be in balance. Remember I spoke about that in the other video? It's all about balance. We need to be able to get balance in our life. So we're going to actually take those steps, and trust me, every single aspect of our life we're going to touch over this day. So over this 30 days. So guys, tonight I'm going to hold it there, 30 minutes. That's a total of 22 minutes. Total record for me. You got me to shut up in that part of time. Tomorrow night, I'm going to see you guys around the same time. Wolfpack, give me a howl. This starts now. Get your life. Let's do this.